Okay, we ready? Well, let's go. If you've ever watched a mother love her son, and I mean really love him, you'll notice there's something different in her eyes. It's not duty, it's not obligation, it's definitely not performance. It's something ancient, something sacred, something woven into her by God Himself. You see, a mother doesn't just love her son, she covers him, she anchors him, she softens him, she gives him a first taste of unconditional love in a world that will not always be kind to him. And if you're a father, sometimes you watch that love unfold and feel something deep inside your chest, a mix of gratitude, reflection, and if we're being fully honest, sometimes even jealousy. Not because you're wrong, but because there is a part of you that knows you needed a love like that when you were growing up too. You weren't given your children by accident. God chose you specifically to be their father. Welcome back to the Dad on Purpose podcast presented by Daddy Up, where we learn to reflect the heart of Jesus in our homes and protect the next generation through faith, presence, and love. I'm Jason Jones, and together we're choosing to be Dad on Purpose. So, welcome back, everybody. This is now episode 7 of the Dad on Purpose podcast presented by Daddy Up. And before we get into anything, again, I'm not going to stop doing this. I just want to thank you for being here, for being a part, and hopefully growing with and through this podcast. So thank you. It definitely means the world to me. Now, title of this episode is The Love You Wish You Got, Understanding a Mother's Love for Her Son Without Resenting It. Now, that's a mouthful, right? It's definitely a mouthful. So we're going to go over some things in this podcast that kind of cover the title, and we'll make some sense as we go through, I promise you here. So let's talk about the love that you wish you got, right? And we're going to dive into something that a lot of men feel, but very few men know how to say out loud. You see, a mother's unconditional love for her son can feel beautiful and confusing and humbling and healing and triggering all at the same time. Now, this isn't about shaming fathers. This isn't about diminishing your role. This isn't about elevating mothers above you. This is about understanding the design that God created so you can embrace your place instead of comparing it. Now, let's talk about where this feeling comes from. You see, most fathers aren't jealous of their child. They're jealous of the feeling, right? They're jealous of the feeling that the son gets from the mother, or that I shouldn't say that the son gets from the mother. They're jealous of that unconditional love that they see the mother giving the son. You see, now what they're jealous of is being loved effortlessly. They're jealous of being adored without condition, jealous of the way she holds him like he is the safest part of her world. But listen to me carefully. This jealousy is not shameful. It is human, it is honest, and it's more common than you think. So here's why. Number one, many men never received unconditional affection growing up. Not because their mothers didn't care, right? But because generational survival made emotional softness rare. I want to say that again. Many men never received unconditional affection growing up. The reason is not because their mothers didn't care, but because generational survival made emotional softness rare. Okay? Number two, many fathers weren't taught emotional vocabulary. So watching it expressed so freely can feel foreign at times. Number three, many dads feel like love for them is earned, while their son's love is freely given. Now, this one right here speaks to me because as a father, I feel, and I know it's not true, it's just a feeling, right? But sometimes feelings can also, be real. As a father, I feel that I watch my wife interact with my children, especially my son, and I see the love that they just naturally give each other back and forth. And I don't always feel that same love. I feel like my love is earned transactionally. What has dad done? What is he? And it's not even about buying anything or something like that, but it's, I have to earn it. I have to do something in order to get that same love that I just watch exchange so freely between them. So again, many dads feel like love for them is earned and transactional. Number four, many fathers carry wounds from childhood. Now, these wounds get activated when they watch softness happen for their son, but never happen for them. And this isn't resentment, it's recognition. It's healing, calling your name. Now, let's shift the lens a little bit, okay? You were never meant to replace her love, and she was never meant to replace yours. God didn't design fatherhood and motherhood as competing loves, but as complementary assignments that grow a child in different ways. Let me say that again. God didn't design fatherhood and motherhood as competing loves, but as complementary assignments that grow a child in different ways. So these children that you're raising, they need both. They need that motherly love, they need that fatherly love. They need them at different times, they need them at the same time. It's really hard to determine when and where and how much you're supposed to go, but I promise you, they need them both. Now, sorry, I can't speak today for some reason. Some statistics that matter, right? Number one, children with loving, emotionally supportive mothers show higher psychological resilience through life. Number two, boys who receive consistent affection from their mothers have higher emotional intelligence as adults. And number three, a mother's emotional attunement reduces the likelihood of depression and anxiety in boys by up to 55%. Again, it reduces the likelihood of depression and anxiety in boys by up to 55%. But here's the truth that men need to hear. A mother's love gives a son his emotional foundation. A father's love gives him direction. A child doesn't need his father to be mom. He needs his father to be dad. Steady, present, wise, protective, loving in a way that only a father can offer. So where does that leave fathers? Your son needs your strength, but he also needs your tenderness. He needs your discipline, but he also needs your grace. He definitely needs your wisdom, but he also needs your vulnerability. There are lessons he will learn from her that you cannot teach, and there are lessons he will learn from you that she cannot teach. You are not less important. You are not secondary. You are not optional. You are the model of manhood your son will study for the rest of his life. Hear me when I say that. You are the model of manhood that your son will study for the rest of his life. Now, I gave you some statistics. Oh, why can't I say statistics today? Let's try again. I gave you some statistics earlier about mothers. Let me now give you some on fathers. Boys who grow up with engaged fathers have higher self-esteem and better emotional regulation. Sons with present fathers have 61% lower rates of behavioral problems. Father involvement is associated with better social skills, problem-solving abilities, and resilience during adolescence. I'm going to give you those stats again because they're very important. I think we really need to hear them more than once so we understand how important just our presence alone can be. So, number one, boys who grow up with engaged fathers have higher self-esteem and better emotional regulation. Sons with present fathers have 61% lower rates of behavioral problems, and father involvement is associated with better social skills, problem-solving abilities, and resilience during adolescence. So please understand, your presence is not a bonus. It's a blueprint. You understand what I'm saying? Your presence is needed. It's not a bonus. It is a blueprint for them to follow for the rest of their lives. Now, with that being said, let's address the part that men rarely admit. All right. Sometimes the jealousy doesn't sound like jealousy. It sounds like irritation, right? Like distance, like sarcasm, like judgment, like frustration. But underneath is a quiet truth. That quiet truth, I wish someone loved me like that. And honestly, that's not weakness. It's the doorway to healing. Now, here's the truth that will free you. Her love for your son does not replace what you didn't receive. But watching her love him can help heal what you missed. I don't know if y'all caught that, so I'm going to say that part again. Her love for your son does not replace what you didn't receive. But watching her love him can help heal what you missed. Let her softness teach you. Let her patience expand you. Let her bond with your son show you what emotional safety looks like. This isn't your competition. It's your classroom. You understand? You're not competing at all. Because again, the mother and the father are both needed. So there's no competition here. But there's so much for you to glean and to learn by just watching that relationship between a mother and a son blossom. It's honestly, it's one of my favorite things about being a father. I feel like when I was younger, my father watched the relationship that me and my mom had. He watched me run to her when I was sad. He watched me, kind of go to her for my safety and for my peace. And I think there was a piece of him that resented that. And I think that caused drama and that caused tension between me and him. Now, when I became a father, I started to feel those same things. But in order to get myself out of it, instead of building some sort of resentment for that natural connection between a mother and son, I just realized this is a beautiful thing to watch. So I just flipped the mind. Instead of saying, hey, this is the problem, and he's soft and he's run to his mom all the time and I need to toughen him up. No, just let him go. Let him go. Right now, he needs her. So it's really a matter of perspective, how you look at this and how you take on that role that they have. If you take it with just like, hey, this is part of it and I'm going to love it, it's a lot easier to get through these kind of feelings that you may have, this jealousy that you may have, right? Now, what about your son, right? What does her love teach him? Number one, it teaches him that his emotions matter. It teaches him that he is worthy of affection. It teaches him that he deserves comfort, that he is seen and understood, and that tenderness is not weakness. Let me say that again, because a lot of times as men, we get that confused, right? It teaches him that tenderness is not weakness. You're not weak if you show some tenderness to your children. That's what they need. All that hard, like I'm going to teach them how to be a man and I'm going to do that. It's later for all that. All right. All that stuff is over. We can't do that anymore because what happens is when they become children or when they become adults and they've never experienced that tenderness from their father or from their mother for that case, it creates a child who is not emotionally regulated. And that emotional regulation, if it's not held in check, can have far-reaching effects that we could never really understand. Now, let's talk about what your love teaches him. It teaches him that strength with gentleness, right? Again, your love teaches him strength with gentleness. You can be strong and gentle at the same time. Two things can be true. It teaches him how to navigate the world. It teaches him identity and purpose, integrity and discipline, and how to treat future partners. It also teaches him how to be a protector, a leader, and a provider without becoming hardened. Because there's ways that not ways, but you need all those things together. In order to be a protector, a leader, and a provider, you can't be hard. You got to have some toughness with you, but you also got to have that other side as well. Now, the love from a mother, the love from a father, neither replaces the other. Because again, like I said earlier, both are essential. So how do fathers grow emotionally in this space? Number one, acknowledge your wounds. Because healing begins with honesty. You're never going to heal if you're not honest. Sometimes you got to pull that band-aid off. And you have to understand that you are wounded. And you just have to heal. So again, acknowledge your wounds because your healing will begin with honesty. Let her love inspire yours. If tenderness feels foreign, let her teach you through observation. Watch that relationship between the mother and the son. Watch the way she's tender and soft with him. And let it teach you, again, through observation. And then build your own bond with your son. That's number 3. Build your own bond with your son. Play with him. Talk to him. Laugh with him. Teach him. Hold him. Guide him. Be present, even in silence. I tell you what, the mistake that I made when I was a new father for the first few years is feeling like I had to be the tough guy. I had to teach him how to be tough because the world ain't going to be easy on him. The world is going to be rough. So I got to be hard all the time to show them what this is really about. So when they get out there, they're not going to falter. They're not going to fail. They'll be tough. They're tough as nails. And what that did was made my children look at me like a monster, right? Like I was just a terrible person. Now, I don't know at this point if I've done damage that can be reversed. I don't know. Only thing I can do is keep showing up. But I promise you, to have that demeanor where you feel like you got to be tough all the time because you got to teach them about the world and how it's not going to be soft on them and how it's unforgiving and how it'll take them and chew them up and spit them out. If you feel like you have to hold that demeanor all the time, it's a mistake. Let it go. Let it go right now. Because I promise you, it's not the way you want to go. All right. Number 4, learn some emotional vocabulary because your son will speak the language that you teach him. So get your emotions in check. As men, a lot of times the feeling that we're most comfortable sharing is anger and toughness, right? We have to expand past that. We have to learn emotional vocabulary because that's going to be vital for our son. So they don't carry the same weight that we have to carry now. Number 5, understand that your roles are different. Just like I've said earlier, your roles are different, but one is not over the other. They don't diminish each other. They're complementary, right? They're not unequal. God didn't design you to love the same way. He designed your love to work together, complementary. Now, let's speak to your son, right? As I've done in the last few episodes, I like to create letters for my children to kind of, so they can understand where I'm at this point, right? So, letter to my son. My son, there will be days when you run to your mother because her arms feel like home, and that is beautiful. I will never resent that. But hear me, you will never have to earn my love, not through performance, not through perfection, not through strength. I am here to guide you, protect you, teach you, and walk with you as you grow into the man God designed you to be. Her love softens your heart. My love will strengthen your spirit. Together, you will grow whole. Now, a vow, and this is a vow that I will not compete and that I will compliment. So this is a father's vow. I vow to honor the mother-son bond. I vow to not resent what I've never received. I vow to learn from love, not compare myself to it. I vow to grow emotionally so my son sees a complete man, not a wounded one. I vow to love my son with strength and softness in equal measure. Let me read that vow again because, again, sometimes I can go through these things kind of fast and I want to make sure that they're setting in and that they're hitting you the way that they're supposed to hit you. So this is the vow that we're going to make to our sons. I vow to honor the mother-son bond. I vow not to resent what I've never received. I vow to learn from love, not compare myself to it. I vow to grow emotionally so my son sees me as a complete man, not a wounded one. And I vow to love my son with strength and softness in equal measure. So we're getting here to close to the end of the episode. And you guys know that with me, my faith guides and directs all of my steps. So before we exit episode 7, I want to make sure that we say a prayer. And this is going to be a prayer so God can teach me how to love my son well. So if you're able, close your eyes, bow your head. If not, if you're just not in that position where you can, just still be here with us, okay? Father God, thank you for the gift of my son. Thank you for the love that surrounds him from his mother. Help me to honor her role without shrinking my own. Heal the parts of me that were never nurtured. Grow the parts of me that need your guidance. And teach me how to love my son the way you love me, fully, freely, and without condition. Amen. Fathers, a mother's love is not your rival. It is the soft ground your son will stand on for the rest of his life. Your love is the compass he will follow. Together, you're shaping a boy into a whole man. Honor her love and strengthen yours. So with that being said, episode 7 is a wrap. I just want to again thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of the the Dad on Purpose podcast presented by Daddy Up. As we continue on, as we keep on dropping episodes, I'm hoping that there's some growth that's happening with all of us. So thank you for joining me today. And remember, your presence is powerful. Your role is sacred. And God chose you for this calling. Fatherhood isn't easy, but it's holy work. Keep learning, keep loving, and keep leading your family in faith. Until next time, be Dad on Purpose. See y'all next time, everybody. Daddy up.